We are live. Ashika, you can start.
Fight the storm to see the
Ashika,
rainbow.
you are in mute.
I welcome you all. Um, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Fight the storm to see the rainbow. I welcome you all gladly from the Youth Red Cross of Ethiraj College for Women. I call upon Darshni Suresh, the Treasurer of Youth Red Cross of Ethiraj College for Women, to present you all with a welcome address. Over to Darshni.
Small cheers and great welcome make a merry feast. Luckily, the weather is on our side today. The sun and I are pleased to offer you a warm welcome. It gives me immense pleasure to start this auspicious occasion by heartily welcoming everyone present in this meet. We bring to you this morning filled with desires, hopes, and dreams we all share a healthy lifestyle. But how do we achieve one? Well, that is not a mystery anymore. Today, we will have stars in the sky and one with us too. We are favored to welcome one among the most brightest the world has ever seen, Mrs. Sujitha Suresh, who is here to enlighten us about the importance of hemoglobin and how to be anemic free in life. You are as welcome as the flowers in May, ma'am. I would like to welcome the backbone of this event, Dr. S. Kodai, Principal, Ethiraj College for Women, Chennai, and Dr. Praveena ma'am, Program Coordinator, Youth Red Cross Club of Ethiraj College for Women, Chennai. I extend my hearty welcome to Liveta Morgan, Secretary of Youth Red Cross Club of Ethiraj College for Women. Last but not least, I would like to welcome the students of Ethiraj College and everyone hidden behind this digital frame. It is my pleasure to extend a cheerful welcome to you all. Your presence makes us very happy. Thank you.
Thank you, Darshni, for your warm greetings. Sujitha Suresh is a nutrition coach who was certified from Precision Nutrition Institute in Canada. She went on helping people in choosing better lifestyle and eating habits. Together with her fitness trainer husband, she started a fitness company called as Rapsy Fit, which aims in offering nutrition plus fitness programs to clientele all over the world. We all heartily invite you, ma'am, to delight us with knowledge.
We welcome you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Good evening, to all of you present here. Hope you're all having a great evening today. And thank you for the introduction. It's a great pleasure to be present here today with the Youth Red Cross of Ethiraj College for Women. Thank you for the invite. And it is nice to have a young audience after a while because my last few sessions have been with corporates and Rotary clubs. I hope that today's session has good takeaways for you. I tend to be a little fast speaker, but I'll try to slow down. You may want to take some notes of some of the foods that I'm going to talk about today, or if there is a recording, you can go back and look at it later. Either way. So, without any further delay, no, let's get to the topic. Can the PPT be opened, please? Yeah, thank you. Moving on to the next slide. What is hemoglobin? So hemoglobin is a protein that is found in the red blood cells. So to produce hemoglobin and the red blood cells, your body needs iron, vitamin B12, folate, and other nutrients from the food that you eat. And the function of these red blood cells are they are responsible for carrying oxygen around the body, and it carries carbon dioxide out of the cells and back into the lungs. Next slide, please. So, what happens when you do not have sufficient hemoglobin? When the body does not have sufficient hemoglobin circulating, not enough oxygen gets to all parts of the body. Imagine, the Swiggy delivery guy, right? He has to take the package from the hotel and he has to deliver it at your house for you to eat. Imagine he doesn't have petrol or something has happened to his bike and he's not able to deliver the product. So you are going to be starving. So that is that is what is going to happen when you do not have sufficient hemoglobin in your red blood cells. As a result, organs and tissues will not function properly, and the first result would be that the person would feel fatigued. Next slide, please. So, what is anemia? As all of you know, anemia is a blood condition characterized by the lack of healthy blood cells or hemoglobin. Now, there are several types of anemia, but today we are going to talk about iron deficiency anemia. Why? Because that is the only anemia that can be prevented by fixing the food on your plate. So in this picture, you can see the difference, right? So the normal amount of blood cell has a lot of red blood cells, but in an anemic person, the count is much lesser. And your RBC also will be smaller, because the RBC is like a donut, and the in the center, that whole part, the hemoglobin will be present. So when the hemoglobin is not healthy, obviously the size of the red blood cells also will shrink. So basically, as a result, you don't get sufficient oxygen circulating. Now, coming to the causes of iron deficient anemia, one is blood loss, right? I mean, iron is primarily found in the blood. When a person is losing a lot of blood from maybe injury, or after giving birth, or heavy menstruation, if your period is very heavy, there is a possibility to get this iron deficiency, because a lot of iron is lost. Another reason is poor diet, very obviously, right? Diets that lack iron is a leading cause of iron deficiency. So foods that are rich in iron supply the body with the iron that is needed to produce the hemoglobin. So if you don't eat enough to maintain that iron supply, obviously an iron deficiency can develop. Then there is something called, you get a decreased ability to absorb the iron, right? So some people are not able to absorb enough iron, even if they eat sufficient iron rich foods. This may be due to other problems related to the small intestine, such as celiac disease or Crohn's disease. Again, that needs to be separately treated. That cannot be treated with food, but that is something that has to be treated medically, right? So we're not going to talk about that today. And pregnancy, yeah, obviously, low iron levels is a very common problem in pregnant women, because a growing fetus needs a lot of iron, and also the volume of the blood in a pregnant woman would be much larger. So that means she needs more iron. That's why it is common, for doctors to prescribe a supplement for pregnant women. Next. So there was a complaint that a lot of folks today in this meeting here are anemic. So many of you would have experienced at least a few of these symptoms, right? So fast and unusual heartbeat. Always you get this headache. Your nails are not strong, and fatigue, tiredness, and weakness, and dizziness. You always get a feeling that you feel like fainting, right? And especially around your periods. And cold hands and feet. I mean, it's normal to have cold hands when you're nervous, but then when you have it most of the time, then it is a symptom of anemia. And shortness of breath, obviously, right? So the main problem there is the oxygen is not getting circulated properly, right? So even when you have a small run, or if you're just going to climb the stairs, you start having a shortness of breath. And another one is, skin can be pale and yellow. Maybe in our Indian skin, it may not be seen as obviously as white skin people, but still you can see some amount of paleness in your skin. And there's also this craving for non-food items, like dirt or chalk. Some people, I've seen some people scrubbing paint off from the wall, and they feel like having that. Or even if you feel like having a lot of ice cubes. So when you have all these feelings, you have to know that these are all symptoms of anemia, and you will have to address that. We can move on. So what happens if you leave anemia untreated? The following complications can occur. So one is heart problem, because your heart is going to work really hard, right? I mean, there is going to be a problem in circulation. So the heart is all alone. It has to work really hard. It is pumping really hard. So there could be an enlarged, heart problem, and even heart failure can happen. And the other thing is, pregnancy complications, right? So there can be low birth weights, and there can also be an increased risk for premature birth, and developmental delays in children and infants, and even for us adults, right? So even our body is constantly growing. It is producing new cells, right? So when that stops, I mean, it'll affect us overall. So the recommended iron intake, since we're all women here, I've just given for women. So it is 14.8 mg per day for women between 19 to 50, and 8.7 mg per day for women over 50. Now the target intake is actually very high because only a small percentage gets absorbed. Like if you have 14 milligrams per day, then only like 3 to 4 grams milligrams would actually be absorbed by the body. So you have to remember, iron is not made in the body, and it has to come from the food that you eat. Now let's just quickly look at the situation in the world and in India. So as you can see here, right, it is a very serious global public health problem. So from the world, 42% of pregnant women, 30% of non-pregnant women, and 47% of preschool children are anemic. And in India, the situation is even more worse, right? So you can see 58% of children, 53% of non-pregnant women, and 50% of pregnant women are found to be anemic. And the worst thing is that we have an anemia control program for almost 50 years, but there is not much of an improvement in the percentage. So basically, like almost 6 in 10 women or children are having anemia, and this needs to be addressed. So now we are done with the biological details of anemia, right? So now let's move on to what we can do to prevent anemia and to treat and increase your hemoglobin count. So when it comes to dietary iron, there are two types: heme and non-heme iron. Heme iron is found only in animal flesh, like meat, poultry, or seafood. Non-heme iron is found in plant foods, like the whole grains, nuts, seeds, legumes, and leafy greens. Now, heme iron is better absorbed by the body because it is very easily available. As soon as you eat it, your gut is able to take that iron very easily and take the nutrition from it. But non-heme iron, it is not that easily absorbed. Certain factors can improve it, but you cannot compare it with heme iron. So this is just a simple chart about the heme iron. So if you are a non-vegetarian who regularly consumes these foods, then it is highly unlikely that you have anemia, because it's mostly fine because you get a good amount. I see from liver you get 5.2 to 9.9. It is a very good source, and even the other non-veg foods like fish, beef, mutton, chicken, they all have a good amount of iron, and since they are heme based, they are very easily, so probably whatever you get from these foods would be absorbed entirely by your body. But that is not the case in non-heme foods. But again, in our country there are a lot of vegetarians, and even non-vegetarians eat meat like only once or twice in a week, right, mostly. So we will also have to look how to get the maximum benefits from vegetarian sources of iron. So today let's look at some vegetarian sources. Yeah. So this is amaranth seeds. In Tamil it is tandakira weather, right? In the north it is called rajkira. In south it is not very commonly used. But we should start having this food because it is a very good source of iron. So as you can see, it has like 5 milligrams of iron per cup, and it is an impressive source of iron, calcium, vitamin C, and phosphorus. And I recommend amaranth also to my vegan or vegetarian clients because it is very high in protein. So that is also a very impressive profile. So how you can eat it is you know popcorn, right? So popcorn, if you just take the kernels and put it in the your kadai and then close it, right, and close it and heat it for some time, it start bursting and you get the popcorn, right? So same way you can do for amaranth seeds. Just simply roast it, and it'll have a very nice flavor. So that is one way to have it. Then you can also have make it into a flour and make it into a chapati, or anything that you like. In fact, there are some amaranth flour also available in some shops, so you can check them out. Or you can directly put it in salads, soups, or any dishes that you like. So overall, amaranth is really good. It has good fiber, minerals, vitamins, and it can also help you with your immune system boost. So that is about amaranth seed. So next is bajra. So bajra or kambu or any other millets. I've focused on bajra here, but there are a lot of other millets also that are having a good amount of iron. So it has 6 milligrams per cup, and it is also a good source of protein, vitamin B6, niacin, and folate and zinc. And there are a lot of other than kambu, you have ragi, dinai, samai, samai. So you can have a mix, right? You can buy different millets, and you can have it once in few weeks. You can have one today and one after a couple of days. So that would be beneficial for you. It There have also been some studies that have been conducted. These millet based meal significantly increase the bioavailable iron, even though it is actually a non-heme. It actually helped with the increase of hemoglobin and the iron content as such in the blood. So you can have millets a few times in a week to meet the iron requirement. So another one is garden cress seeds, or you can call it as olive seeds, halim seeds. Okay, so this has a very good amount of iron content. As you can see, it has 8.3 milligrams per 100 grams. So in addition, it is rich in fiber. It helps to fight against hair fall, and it is also a rich source of folic acid, vitamin E and A, and it has good immunity boosting properties. So again, there was a study conducted for garden cress seeds. So 30 girls were given seed powder in a laddu form for a period of time, and the results were it revealed significant rise in the hemoglobin level. So that is really helpful. But just because it is good in iron, do not consume in large quantities, okay? Because garden cress seeds are also goitrogenic, which means it can reduce the iron uptake by the thyroid gland. So it can interfere with your secretion of your thyroid hormones. So don't take too much. You don't have to avoid it, obviously. I mean, it has so many good benefits, but then don't go overboard, right? So have half teaspoons to half teaspoon to 1 teaspoon in a day. You can make laddu. You just search for a recipe for olive seed laddu, or you can simply soak it in lemon water for an hour or two, and then you can just have it as it is. Why lemon water? Because vitamin C and iron are friends. So when vitamin C is present along with iron, it facilitates faster absorption. So that's why always you have to pair a non-heme iron with vitamin C, so that it gets absorbed much easier. Okay. So next is spinach and other varieties of kale. Right? So this is something common. You quite often hear that it has a very good amount of iron. So it's not just spinach. There is palak or a lot of kale, right? Ponnangani, manatakali, arakira, sirukira, vendekira, all that, right? So you can have any of these leafy green varieties. The iron content is like 2.5 milligrams per 100 gram, and it is also rich in calcium and many other vitamins. But there is only one problem. The problem is that it has low absorption. Okay, so I mean, even if you consume large quantities, you will only get a small amount of iron into your blood actually. But still, because of the overall nutrition profile of this, I would really recommend have a portion every day. Have a portion with your lunch or dinner every day, and you can combine it with the vitamin C rich foods such as capsicum, tomato, broccoli, etc. So that you will be facilitating the absorption. So when you make kira, you can put tomato in your when you make this paruppu kira, right? So the tomato, the vitamin C in tomato would help to some extent to be able to absorb this iron. Okay, move on. So the next one is tofu. This has 3.35 milligrams per 100 gram. Again, this is from the soy milk, right? So it is made by coagulating the soy milk to create curds. So again, this is another important source of protein also for vegans and vegetarians. So, and not only iron, it has a good amount of calcium and other nutrients. So one thing about soy foods is that they may be genetically modified. A lot of soy foods out there are genetically modified. So try to get a GMO free soy product. Like usually it will be written on the cover itself, it is GMO free. So try to get organic or varieties that are GMO free. And if you have hypothyroidism and if you're taking a medicine, again this is also soy products are generally considered to be again quite you know quite have some goitrogenic properties. So if you're having the hypothyroidism and if you're taking medicine, usually you take your medicine in the morning, right? So leave at least 4 hours gap so that the presence of soy is not affecting your thyroid medication. So then it should be fine. And it's not just tofu. You have many varieties of soy in the market. I mean, you can just buy even the soy, beans, and then cook it as a curry or something. Or there are there are other forms such as tempeh or the soy milk and everything. So that would give you a good boost of iron. Can move on. So I've given a few other sources of iron here. Uh, some of these are really good. Some of them are just average sources of iron, but it is about a cumulative effect, right? So if you just have one thing in, as an individual food, it is not going to contribute much. But when you have a lot of things together, then cumulatively you will get a good amount of iron. So these are all, most of these foods are commonly used, right? I mean, mustards, sesame seeds, cumin, these are all turmeric and all are commonly used in our houses, right? And lentils and dal we can have on most days, and potatoes and apricot. Dates is generally marketed to be a very good source of iron. I wouldn't say it is very good, but it has a small amount of iron. And dark chocolate, I think a lot of people would love to see dark chocolate here. It is not normal chocolate, it's dark chocolate. And do not eat in excess. Just 2 to 3 pieces should be fine in a day. And dark chocolate will also help you with the mood swings that we get prior to periods, right? The PMS mood swings can also be elevated with dark chocolate. So it is, I mean, I've just specified a few sources here. There are a lot of other sources which have iron in small amount. So have a varied variety of food, and that would help you. Can move on. So this is just some tips. So if you cook in iron skillets a few times a week, some amount of iron would get absorbed in your food. And you can avoid taking tea and coffee along with food. Like don't have your lunch and immediately go for tea or coffee, because this tea or coffee tends to inhibit the absorption of iron. So leave a gap, have it a few hours later only, or even with your morning breakfast. If you are having some iron rich food in the morning, make sure that you don't drink coffee or tea along, which will inhibit the absorption. So iron supplements. If you are already having severe symptoms, you have to go see a doctor, because you will have to get your levels tested to see whether there is any low iron levels. Your doctor can prescribe some iron supplements for the same, right? And iron supplements obviously will help reverse the low iron levels and treat iron deficiency anemia. So more than getting it from food, when you have it as a supplement, it is absorbed very fast, and you can see a significant improvement in the hemoglobin level. But don't just go over the counter and just take some iron supplement. Go check with your doctor, check your blood levels, and then your doctor should be prescribing you the right supplement for this. So what can you do as a student, right? Like you will have to make effort, right? So don't expect your parents to put the best food on a plate always. You are adults, so you will have to be responsible. You have to help to educate your parents on the importance of iron rich food. So it starts from the moment you buy food from your shop, right? I mean, from the grocery shopping. So shop for the right kind of foods. Like instead of reaching out to some kind of junk food, focus and make sure that you get iron rich foods. So I've given a list here. And in addition, like I said, it is not only this list of irons. I've given very good sources, but in addition there are a lot of products, I mean a lot of foods which have iron in smaller amounts. So you can pick and have ones that suit your needs, and keep iron rich food accessible at all times, right? I mean, for example, if you're coming to college and if you want to take a small snack, have a small box of pumpkin seeds in your snack box, or just go ahead and pop some amaranth seeds and you can have that as a snack. So the change has to start from you, and you'll have to take effort. Nothing is easy in the world, right? So, and this is not like you do it for 1 month or 2 months or 3 months and then you stop this is something that you have to do all through your lifelong. So because you need a circulation all through your life, and you need a hemoglobin and iron every time, right? So make sure that you take effort, and it becomes part of your daily life. Okay, so even though today's topic is about anemia, hemoglobin, and iron, I do not want to leave this webinar by just focusing on one aspect. No, that is not going to help, because we will have to think from a holistic level. For example, when, as I mentioned initially, we also need B12 for hemoglobin production, and we also need all other vitamins and minerals. For instance, vitamin D is another common vitamin where a lot of people have deficiency. So focus on having wholesome foods, like have at least three different varieties of fruits each day, and 3 to 4 servings of vegetables each day, and include whole grains like millets, unpolished rice, brown rice, red rice, and wheat in the whole form, and avoid or reduce the junk food or processed food. uh, I'm not saying like you'll have to completely avoid all kinds of processed or junk food, because also food is also about happiness, right? So have 80 percentage of healthy food, and remaining 20% you can have food that is not so healthy, but for your own happiness. And most importantly, cannot stress this enough, have one serving of protein at every meal. It doesn't matter if you're a vegetarian or non-vegetarian, or if you're, I mean, it is not only for bodybuilders. Okay, please keep in mind, protein is not only for bodybuilders. Everybody needs protein, and that is again another area where Indians have very very much a deficit in. So find good sources of protein and include it at every meal. So overall, if you just see this slide, right, carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, I mean, these are the main macronutrients, right? So carbohydrates gives you the energy to sustain through the day, and proteins, it is for building up, for regenerating your muscles or cells or everything. And fats in the sense, the good fats are also very important for you to for a lot of things, for your hormones, for your cell membranes and everything. So make sure that you have a balanced diet of all three. Again, in Indian plate, we have a lot of carbohydrates, and less protein and fat. So make sure that you balance all of this together. So have some nuts, to get a good fat, nuts every day to get some good fats. Have a portion of protein in your meal. And carbohydrates, I know I generally don't have to worry much about carbohydrates in an Indian diet, because most of us anyway will have chapati and rice. Okay. So, okay, and finally, I have an agenda to push. Exercise, right? Exercise, movement. You'll have to keep moving, play a sport. Enroll in some Zumba classes or any classes that you want, or go to a gym. Just keep yourself active, because it is essential for your health, and it increases your chances of being disease free for longer. It can prevent so many diseases like heart disease, BP, diabetes, everything. And since you're all young, right, if you start right now, you will be able to reap the benefits very well than someone who's starting late, right? And mentally also, it will make you very very strong. Right now all of us are going through a lot of stress, pandemic, and not just that, right? I mean, our generation itself is much more stressed than the previous generation, right? We have a lot of anxiety and everything. So mentally also, exercising would make you stronger. So if you're not exercising, start today. Just start with 5 minutes of some exercise, and keep growing. Like make sure that exercise is also a part of your life. And again, this is for the rest of your life, not just today or tomorrow, but make sure that exercise is part of your daily routine for your entire life. And you will surely be happy if you take that route. So that's all. I'm done with my session today. I hope that you found this useful. And the success of my preparation for today lies in how you follow it. So please don't close the session and go back to your daily lives. Take effort and have healthy meals. So you have like one body and one life, right? So make sure that you keep your body really fit. So take effort. Take make sure that every small thing is being taken care of, and also help out others in your home or in your community or your friends to have healthy meals. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, ma'am. Actually, I have to say few things about you which my students have missed about. I would like to introduce some more things about Sujitha Suresh. She is a nutrition coach who was certified from Precision Nutrition in Canada, and she was a Chennai school topper in 12th standard and passed engineering from Anna University, Guindy, and later entered the corporate world where she saw many people who had health issues. And this pressurized her to become a healthy coach. And here she is with us with lots of tips. And one thing I would like to say, ma'am, through a quote: he who has health has hope, and he who has hope has everything. So it is through your speech we could understand that to eat is a necessity, but to eat intelligently is an art. Thank you so much for giving us an enlightenment towards the healthy diet, exercise, and how to be anemic free. Thank you so much, ma'am. And over to you, Rishika.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for all these detailed information about iron-based anemia, its causes, and prevention. I'm armed with all this information to keep anemia at my bay, and I'm very sure that every student who attended this meeting is also found this very beneficial. Thank you so much, ma'am. Our students who attended this meeting has a doubt, and can I ask it, ma'am?
Yeah, sure.
So, should teenagers take a vitamin supplement to meet their energy level up?
Having a multivitamin, can help, but then primarily all your vitamins and minerals should come from food. Okay, because there is a lot of mixed research about multivitamins. So some studies have shown that it is very helpful. Some studies has told the opposite, right? And when it comes to multivitamin, right, when one vitamin is higher, it may inhibit the absorption of another vitamin. For example, calcium and iron, they are not actually good together. So when one is higher in the blood and the other one is lesser, uh, this calcium can inhibit the absorption of iron. To just put it in simple words, just imagine there are some receptors, right? So imagine there's a train, right? There's a train, and then each vitamin will have to go into one compartment, and then it will be carried to the blood. Okay, so for example, if you have a lot of calcium and if there is iron, okay, so calcium is faster, maybe. I mean, it's just an example. Okay, calcium is faster, so it goes into the train and fills up all the seats. And iron is waiting here. The train has gone. Again, the next train is coming. Again, there's more calcium here. Calcium gets inside, and then iron is getting inhibited. So when you have multivitamin without consulting a doctor or nutritionist, for a longer duration, it can inhibit other vitamins being absorbed. So for a shorter duration, like have it for 2 to 3 months, and then stop it and consult with a doctor, and taking it would be fine. But at the end of the day, I would suggest get most of it from your food.
Ma'am, I have a
Uh,
doubt. Till what age our the vitamins, whatever we take through fruits, will get absorbed by our body? Because after 40 or after 50, it is not responding that much. So what could be the the answer for all these things, ma'am?
Overall, our metabolism and the overall
Yeah, it will decay.
body functioning can come down with time. But again, like I said, it is the doctor who has to decide what you want. What I mean, I cannot tell a generic a statement here because each one is different, right? I mean, so there are some people who have lived their lives without any supplement, and they could be fine. They could get all their nutrients from the food itself, or there could be people who would want. So again, the absorption level can even decrease from change from person to person. So when you have some issues, I mean, try to get everything from food, but when you have some issues, reach out to your doctor, and it'll be better to get a master checkup done, at least once a year, so that you understand what your body is going through and how your levels are, and that will help us better.
Any other
Ma'am,
doubts?
yes, ma'am. And this question has widely plagued me for many years. So, what is a healthy weight and how to maintain it?
A healthy weight, see, the standard in the world is BMI, right? Body mass index. So if you just go and calculate your BMI, uh, I mean, you have 18 to 24 is the actual healthy weight. So more than that, it becomes overweight, obese, or below that, it would be underweight. But BMI shouldn't be the only calculator for healthy weight, because a person could actually be very healthy. Maybe he's he's bulked up. He's got a very good amount of muscle, and he or she can still be healthy, but he could be slightly on the upper side. Or someone may seem underweight in a on the BMI chart, but he could actually be healthy. So we can have the BMI as a reference to just see on what scale we are. But overall, your health should be measured by how fit you feel in the morning. I mean, when you wake up, right, you should be full of energy. If you're very drowsy and dull, then there's an issue. Or when you're playing a game, or when you're climbing the stairs, you should be able to quickly do that. So these are all the other indicators of good health, and weight shouldn't be the primary indicator. Like even when people come to me for weight loss, right, I explain to them that weight loss shouldn't be your primary goal, because getting healthy, eating healthier, you're changing your body composition, reducing the fat composition. Fat composition is actually a good indicator. You shouldn't have too much of fat in your body, right? So reducing the fat composition would be a good a way to get healthy. But just looking at weight as the healthy part of it is not recommended.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Right now, I feel very safe and secure about my body and body weight. Okay, so this is the last question, ma'am.
Ma'am, I have a
Is it
question.
okay?
Excuse me. Ma'am, a lot of us are lacking in vitamin D, ma'am, actually, especially given this lockdown and all, going under sun is like such a task. What should we do about it, ma'am?
Vitamin D, see, one thing is about Indians is that, because we are a little dark skinned, even with the, having some amount of sunlight available also, we don't get it converted into vitamin D in the blood as easy as, white skinned people. So that's why there is also, wide, prevalence of deficiency of vitamin D in our country. So but anyway, we do not have much of a choice. So we will have to spend longer time under the sun, and you can also go for supplements. So again, check once with your doctor and or nutritionist, and you can go for supplement. Vitamin D supplement is generally safe. Okay, so you can have a small amount of supplement every day, which is generally safe, and it is also found to be increasing our vitamin D in the blood.
Is there any other way than supplement, like through food or anything?
Through food, we have vitamin D foods like eggs and everything, but it cannot significantly increase the count. I mean, generally for vitamin D, I would recommend supplementation, because I mean the vitamin D from the food is not. It
Sufficient.
doesn't really help to increase the level.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for answering.
Krushika, you can ask.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. So this question is it safe to take protein powder to gain or lose weight?
It is safe to take protein powder. You'll have to make sure there are a lot of different brands in the market. So make sure that you get a good brand. There are also a lot of duplicates in the market. So you'll have to make sure that you get a good brand and from a trusted source. And try to get a protein powder which has minimal additives. When you look at the ingredient list, there should be just hardly 3 or 4 ingredients on your protein powder. There are some protein powders, they would taste really great, but they will have like around 18 to 20 ingredients. Just to make it tastier, they had a lot of ingredients. So you can otherwise, having a good quality of protein powder is definitely recommended. Primarily because again that is one place where we struggle, because we need to get around at least zero 0.8 per a gram per kg, right? So for example, if you are like say 60 kgs, you will need at least like 50 to 55 grams of protein. So meeting that through food, it is possible, but then again you will have to put a lot of effort. So for convenience sake, you can reach out to protein powder. But again, your aim shouldn't be to lose or gain weight. Your aim should be to meet the protein requirements of the body for the day.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So gratitude is the most distinct, admirable quality that I noticed about human beings. So I call upon Dashni Suresh to present you with the vote of thanks. Over to Dashni.
Ma'am, can I begin my vote of thanks?
Yes, yes,
Yes,
Darshini, you
you
can
can.
go ahead.
On behalf of the Youth Red Cross Club of Ethiraj College for Women and the entire fraternity of this institution, first of all, I extend my most sincere thanks to the Almighty God for making this event a resounding success. With His blessings and grace, we are able to make this event what it was. I extend my hearty thanks to our chief guest, Mrs. Sujitha Suresh. As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not the utter word, but the life by them. Keeping those wise words of John F. Kennedy in mind, we promise to try and follow all the remedies you have taught us today. We feel privileged in having you here with us. In spite of your busy schedule and amidst this pandemic, you have spent your valuable time with us, enlightening us. Thank you so much, ma'am, for gracing this occasion with your presence and sharing your knowledge with us. I'm short of words for a special mention to our respected principal, Dr. S. Kodai, Ethiraj College for Women, Chennai, for being the catalyst that stimulated us to do our best and standing as pillar of strength. An event like this cannot happen overnight. The wheel starts rolling weeks ago. It requires planning and a bird's eye for detail. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a wonderful program coordinator, Dr. Praveena ma'am, who has stood with us through both dark and light, guiding us, and it is my privilege to thank her for her selfless service. I would also like to thank the people who worked behind the scene to make this event happen. Last but not least, a big thank you to each one of you who made this event memorable to us by your presence. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dashni. Thank you for your vote of thanks. Uh,
Ma'am, shall we end the live or do you have anything else to say? Thank you, ma'am.